This station big. What's this?
Smooth jazz. You don't like it?
Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Let me see if my coffee hot. My tea hot. I'm sorry, not my coffee.
When you phone don't play you?
She's right. She's right. I'm trying to see, did I stir it? I think I did. Hello, people. Hello, people. I see Miss Carla on here. Come on in the room, people. I think I got a little juicy subject tonight. I don't know if it's going to be spilling somebody's tea or something, but I think I got an interesting topic for tonight. I'm going to tell y'all how I got this topic while I was watching a movie on Netflix. I was watching a movie on Netflix and this topic, it just like, bam, it hit me. And so I was writing some stuff down. And this topic just got with me. Hey, BFF. Hey, Deborah Burke, I'm going to handle that tomorrow. There was some complications, and I understood what the complications was after the fact. But I got it tomorrow. Don't even worry about anything. I got it tomorrow. Okay? Some complications. But good evening, folks. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Come on in the room tonight. Tonight, I start a little early. It's 8:36. So that means I'm going to need to get off of here at exactly 9:30. Let my big sister come on and do her prayers from 9:30 to 11. I need to be on that prayer line. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Praying for me, I'm praying for others. Because when two or three are gathered, okay, okay, okay. That's Revival Christian Church. Revival Christian Church. Revival Christian Church. From 9:30 to 11 o'clock. My sister Stephanie Love God will be on there with our prayer list. So when you see me rushing off, I ain't listen. This is not the time of the day to be playing with people. We need to all be on our knees, praying for one another, and rooted and booted in prayer. Okay? So let us do our midweek check-in today. Our midweek check-in. I put that I'm doing great, which I am. I'm doing great. I put that red heart up there. I'm doing great. Despite the lines, it's just so busy. Even in the month of October. We didn't even get to the spooky part yet, right? We didn't get to the spooky part yet, but I'm doing great. I'm doing all right. Thank you, Father God, for the last 2 weeks. Thank you, Lord. Because the 2 weeks before that, I was crashing. I was crashing. Thank you for all those people that prayed for me. Thank you for my husband that prayed with me. Thank you for my little sister and my big sister and my church family. Thank you guys for covering me. Thank you for my ministers, the Gorell family for covering me. Thank you guys. I thank you so much. I thank you for all them people that checked in on me. I thank you guys. I thank you. I thank you. So I'm doing great today. So if you're doing great, like I am doing great, put that red emoji heart up there. If you're doing okay, put a blue emoji heart up there. If you're doing put a yellow emoji heart up there. Or if things are tough and you're struggling, put a green emoji heart up there. If you're having a hard time and you wouldn't mind if someone wants to reach out to you, put a purple emoji heart up there. I will reach out to you. Listen, it's funny how God works. I was at work doing work. Hey y'all. I like that. I was at work doing work. Right? I was at work doing work. So I will reach out to you. I have time. And even though my therapist said today how I keep busy is helping other people, so I don't have to deal with my stuff. I deal with my stuff. I do. I have a therapist. I go to the altar. I talk to my people. I get my stuff handled. I can't get on here and tell you what to do if I don't do it for myself. I serve, but I understand and I serve myself first. If I don't love me and pour into me, I can't pour out to others. I might used to pour on empty, but I can't do that no more because I'm not good to my family, to myself, to my babies, my fur babies, to my husband. So I do. I love helping people, but I understand I have to pour into myself first. That's why I'm at church every Sunday getting my refill. So if you're having a hard time and you wouldn't mind if someone was to reach out to you, I will reach out to you. I was at work today doing work. Praise God. If you're in a really dark place, put the broken emoji heart up there. I will reach out to you. I will provide you with services for someone you to talk to, a professional. I will direct you on that line. No matter where you are, if you're not from Philly, it doesn't matter where you are. Reach out to me. I will direct you in the professional line that you need. Trust me, I will. I'm going to assess you for safety first. That's what I do. That's my job. Okay? If you're having some harmony and balance in your life, put that pink emoji heart up there. Miss Carla says she's just doing and I can understand. Just moan. Just do a groan for the God. He got you. If you're feeling optimistic and uplifting, put that emoji heart up there. If you're feeling really poopy, put the poopy emoji heart. Put the brown emoji heart up there, but with the poopy emoji, we know what that feels like sometimes. Sometimes we just don't feel. Just don't. You just don't. You just don't. If you're having mixed emotions with some blankness, innocence, and minimalism, put the white emoji heart up there. Just you barely want to do the bare minimum. You got out of bread, you brush your teeth, you don't care how you got your hair done, you don't care what you put on, you're just doing a bare minimum. Put the white emoji heart up there. If you're feeling cool and self-restraint, put the gray emoji heart up there. If you're feeling relaxed and kind of friendly, put the light blue emoji heart up there. If you're dealing with some sadness and anger, put the black emoji heart up there. I use this all the time. It's a wonderful thing, a wonderful tool. I might just go back and put those filling charts up there that I have with the emoji circles that they, when we have so many emojis now. We have, the dogs, the cats, the whatever, the fire, the person that has the exclamation points coming out 100, 100 mean keep it real, 100 straight. We have so many emoji hearts. When emojis first came out, they was just circled with faces. And I use those things for my teenagers when they would come in, symbolizing what face they would use. Because they would come in with some tight faces. What's wrong with you today? Circle the emoji heart. Tell me what's wrong with you today. How do you felt this day on Tuesday and Wednesday? And they would come in. I would give them 3 or 4 of them papers, and they would come back and tell me how they felt through the emoji hearts that they circled. And we would talk about it. And then with my smaller people, I would have faces or animals. So I think I'm gonna try to get those back with you guys. I'm gonna scan them and put them back on. You can copy them, whatever you want to do, and try to communicate with your loved ones, your little ones, things like that. Because sometimes we have a hard time communicating. Sometimes we even have a hard time saying how we feel. Hence, that's why I do the midweek check-in. Sometimes we just get a hard time feeling that. So today's topic is letting go of resentment and setting boundaries. I was watching on Netflix the Menendez brothers. They call it The Monsters. And I was watching that series. It's a series. It's 9 episodes on there. And there's also a documentary on there. And if you watch the news today, I told my husband, turn on the news. I haven't watched the news in probably like 3 or 4 weeks. I don't watch the news often. Matter of fact, when I'm home on Wednesdays, the TV's not on at all. I don't watch the news. And apparently they've been in jail. They have life, but they've been in jail for 34 years now, and the family is trying to get them out. They want them out of jail. And I was watching their the movie with them one year, and I was like, wow. And I had called my sister and I was asking her some questions about my nephew. Come get his birthday gift, and and I was like, did you watch the Menendez? And this happened in 1989. So we were around like maybe 8, 9 years old when this happened. So we were really young. I was asking her, did she remember it? And what else was going on? And it's a catchphrase caught me, and I did not know that there was actually something called parricide. And the psychiatrist in when people kill their parents or other family members. And I was like, woo. And my sister has her logic and things, and I have my logic and things. And she's like, there's nothing that can cause you that much anger, that much pain, that much hate for you to kill your parents. And I was telling her, well, I seen some of the episodes and I kind of feel for these guys and what they went through, and you never know what goes on in someone's home. And I kind of had some resentment against the parents. And she was like, well, that's one of the sides of the story. You don't know. And I was like, you're kind of right. You're kind of right. We don't know if these stories are true that they were saying. So that had me think about, resentment and setting boundaries. And so this twirled around in my mind for a couple of days, and I hit on that topic. This is also a topic that's going to be talked about on November 16th with Tattered and Bruised, my first life skills workshop, from surviving to healing. This will be a small sequence in there. This is a piece that's going to be in that Tattered and Bruised. This is going to be a part of being the bruised part. So just giving you a little small slice of that. So of course, I went to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, and looked this up. So resentment is a feeling of indignant displeasure of persistent ill will towards something regarded as wrong, an insult, or injury. It's a noun. So that means this thing has some action to it, right? A noun is a person, place, or thing. It has some action to it. I know people don't like using Wikipedia because everybody can go on there and add a little 3 or 4 2 cents on there. But Wikipedia has some little nuggets that I liked. I tend not to use Wikipedia, but when I was coming there, I was like, ooh, that sounds juicy. So Wikipedia had resentment is a complex, multi-layered emotion that has been described as a mixture of disappointment, disgust, and anger. I like that. Multi-layered. It's a complex and multi-layered emotion. Now, what causes this resentment? And think about this. Have you ever resented something, someone? And what caused that resentment? And are you still in that space now of resenting something, someone? And how do you view that person, or if they're still here in your lives, or if they're still around? How do you view that relationship? Talk to me, people. How do you view it? Right? Because I did say this causes problems with your past, your present, and your future. It does. It does. So resentment causes a variety of situations: perceived wrongdoing, injustice, humiliation, negative treatment without voicing any protest. Feeling like an object of regular discrimination, prejudice, envy, and jealousy. Feelings used or taken, you feel like you're used or you're getting taken advantage of by others, not acknowledging, not having any achievements. You go unrecognized, and you get, the person is getting embarrassed. They're getting belittled by another person. Some ignorance is going on in that relationship. They're getting put down, or they're getting scorned by another person. And so let me go back. So it can cause, the resentment can cause a variety of situations: perceived wrongdoing, injustice. It can cause humiliation, negative treatment, without voicing any protest. So the persons that's feeling the resentment, they don't have no voice. It's just happening to them. They're not saying anything about it. But they feel like they're being taken advantage of by others. Whatever they do go unrecognized. They get embarrassment. They get belittled by others. By another person. There's ignorance going on. They're getting put down or scorned by another person. I seen this in the Menendez brothers, the movie. If you didn't see it, it's on Netflix. I think it's still on there. And then they have another thing on there with the actual taping of the court system. She said, Deborah said, I don't like to talk to my to talk to my father, wife. And Miss Carter said her husband's addiction and selfishness. And then Deborah said the other side of the family, and I can't see that. The other side of the family, like you're not there. Yeah. But so with the in-laws, yeah, it can be some belittling. And that's probably because there's a mixture of how you were raised. I always say that you make sure, and it's different. It's different the way people were raised on the husband's side or the wife's side. How you were raised, how you see your family and how they see your family. It's always that gray, especially if you have to bridge the families together. What do they call it? They call it the blended family. Be it with the little children that you have to blend together, because we don't call. I don't. My family don't do no stepping. We don't do stepchildren. We don't do that. Ain't no stepping on nobody's kids. We don't do steps. So if you got children prior to us being married, then now they become mine. And if I have children prior to you becoming married, now they become yours. There's no step. We don't do step. We don't do that. And so blending the family together. Traditions sometimes have to be talked about. Sometimes that's difficult. And so I think that's where that slight envy and jealousy might come. You're always doing something with your side of the family. We never do nothing with my side of the family. Well, your family never do anything. You don't even have no traditions, right? That's that envy and jealousy. Sometimes that I can't believe it, because it was in the story, being jealous because your family loves you different than their family loves you. Resentment. This can develop by focusing on past grievances, disturbing memories of hurtful experiences. It can also occur as a result of grief. The process, it can be sustained by ruminating or thinking a lot. And so when they say, well, I I've been here before. You look at the same situation like that's exactly what it is. Your past is always catching up to you. But it's not your past catching up to you. It's because you keep thinking about that certain thing over and over and over. And it's always coming back to you. And so they be like, you keep picking the same female over again. It's not true. Every female is not the same. So when they say all women, don't say all women. Don't say all women. And you can't say that you pick the same woman. You can't say you pick the same woman. Or all men. Or majority of. Or some. Or half. That's the ruminating. The other side of the family that we not here. I can say my family is small right now. It got smaller. It got smaller. It got smaller. But I know one thing my grandma did, God rest her soul, when she was alive. She made sure we were tight. MJ made sure we was tight. She did not allow us to see ourselves out in the area, out in the street, out in the world, apart, separate. We had to stand together, bond together. So if anything happened to one of us, it was happening to all of us. And I love what my sister say. I can talk about my sister, but you better not talk about my sister. I can talk crap about my brother, but you better not talk crap about my brother. And that's how our grandma had us. And so there was a lot of strife in our neighborhood about, oh, you were just talking bad about your sister. Yeah, I was, but you better not talk about it. You're going to get a punch right in your face, right up in the mouth. Don't. And I think and that tradition still stands, even with our kids, even with their cousins. And now we're showing that now we're at the 5th generation, even with my grandson. He has cousins and great aunts and uncles. That tradition still stands. We're still tight. We're still strong. And even though we're smaller now, we're very small now. And so, Ms. Carter, reiterate when you say my husband's addiction and his selfishness. You have resentment against that? Because I'm about to get into unrealistic expectations of others, failed relationships within the family. Because one of the things we put unrealistic expectations on a person. Then we hold them at a higher standard of a bar. The hurt. And so that hurt begins to turn into disgust. Remember I said that in the beginning, right? Disappointment, disgust, and then anger. And then you start looking at him with a side face. You no longer value what he says because he's always disappointing you. He's letting you down. He's not keeping his end of the bargain up. And so that's why I said letting go of the resentment and building and setting boundaries. If you continue to hold on to that hurt, it sours you. I'm going to tell you some ways. I did it with my dad. I'm laughing because y'all can't see him. Y'all can't see him. Thank God you can. But once my dad passed away, He did it with such grace, y'all. Shout out to Sister Nisha if she's watching. She was telling me like, Kimble, you gotta release your dad. I'm like, release him? What are you talking about? And I did what she told me to do. And I think the next 3 days, my hair started getting white, like all up in here. I had like a clump of gray hair. I was mad. I resented that he was out. He was gone. I know he was on hospice. I know he was sick. I know he was tired and he didn't want to fight anymore, but just like that. I was disappointed. Who's having homicidal tendency? You are, Miss Carla? Now, you know this evidence can be used to get you in the court of law, honey. I ain't got no bail money. And so when you get to that level again, that can make you sick. It can make you sick. It can make you stressed out. It can make you worry. Gray hair. I'm trying to give you some of the physical things that you can see. The gray hair, the emotional eating, the body tenseness, the tightness in your body, the muscle spasms. Oh, we're gonna give Miss Carlisle. Okay. Got it. So the unrealistic expectations of others, like felt relationships within the family. I actually got Miss Carla husband and wife after father and son, after mother and daughter. You can reverse that father and daughter, reverse that mother and son. Like trying to tell your side of the story. It does shut me down. That's why she colors her hair. Lots of grays, and stress is the number one killer. The number one killer, stress. It increases your blood pressure, your cholesterol, heart disease, strokes, aneurysms. If you're having difficulty with dialysis, diabetes, it increases all of that in the body. It increases all of that. So when you have those unrealistic expectations of others in those relationships, they fail. Miss Deb said, take it to God in prayer. So if you had issues in your within your family, an absent parent or whatever, sometimes listen to the child and how they was hurt, how they feel, or how they felt in your absence. Parents don't want to do that because again, the parent, I had things going on too. You don't know what I had to deal with. If you go back to the many layers of emotions that child, that's now probably an adult, had to go through with the disappointment, the disgust, and the anger. Now, you as a parent probably had to go through the same things. But those unreal expectations that they had of you as a parent faltered. I'm going to get to, again, this is going to be in my tattered and battered. I don't want to get too deep into it. Let me get to wife to husband and husband to wife. Wife to husband, you probably have the expectations that the wife to husband, the husband's supposed to be the provider. Husband to wife, the wife's supposed to submit. Responsibilities and roles are, what you expect of someone when you get married to that person. And you can probably be with that person for 6 years, 10 years, 20 years. But when you get married, trust me, people, those expectations change. People say it all the time, oh, it's just a piece of paper. But those expectations change. Y'all probably had kids and them kids grown. Those expectations change. You can be with Earl for 20 years. And once you become Mrs. Russell, now Earl got to step up to the plate. Earl can't be hanging out with his friends. Earl can't be fumbling the money on Friday. Earl got to be a provider. Even though Earl for the last 20 years has been doing what he wanted to do. Earl like, come on, I've been doing this for this long. What's the difference, Earl? Because now you my husband. You got to provide for me. You got to have a nest egg. We got to get serious about this. You probably got a little 15 more, 20 more years of life. We got to get serious. The expectations change. The same thing for the wife. Martha ain't never cooked 3 meals in one week. Earl tired of going to the Chinese store. Earl wanted a stuffed pork chop, some gravy and rice. Expectations change. Earl don't want her going out every Friday to the bar or to play bingo. He don't want that. I want my wife at home with me. Expectations change. Just like Deb said, the in-laws. Sometimes you got to love them from a distance. I don't want your sister to give me your brother over here every Friday. You can't come to my house every Friday, Earl. They can't. They can't. I don't like the way your mama talked to me, Earl. I don't like the way she talked to me. Carter said, yes, it is. That's why I have she has a defibrillator and she gained weight. Every time I donate when she donates it to God, it just repeats itself. The expectation lead me to be his enabler, handling the bills while he lays back and put the expectations on me. He has a routine. And that's why we're going to talk about building a healthy boundary. Sometimes when you're not feeling heard. And Miss Carla, see, this is what the thing is. We're mammals. We're mammals. We like routine. We don't like conflict. As much as people want to think we do, we don't like conflict. Even though, if you're a fighter, you're a fighter. That's how you survive. You ready for anything, but just that's how you survive. You don't like it. I can tell you when I was out there, I was with it by any means necessary. Did I like it? No. But I was ready if I needed to be. I was ready if I needed to be, but I didn't like it. Each and every time that I got into a scuffle or a fight, my heart beat it. But once I was in it, it was whatever. Never lost one. Shout out to my girl Renee. I was telling my husband that a couple of weeks ago. Listen, there was only one person I lost a fight to. And we was back and forth with it. She lost one, I lost one. She lost one, I lost one. She lost one, I lost one. And who's on my team? Renee Poland. It was in middle school. Renee Poland. If I lose a fight to you, you must come on my team. That's the only person that came on my team in middle school. We was in the 7th grade. Renee Poland. But we're mammals. We have to learn how to survive. So with it coming back to you being an enabler, you don't want to go up against that conflict. So you would rather say, listen, I'm going to do it this way to keep myself safe, to keep my environment safe, to keep that conflict down. Trying to see what you're saying, Miss Carla. When I do take it to, you said, when you do take, we're going to get there. We're going to get there. So to me, you're not feeling heard. And I know you, Miss Washington, when you're not feeling heard, that tone goes up. Start yelling. You may cuss. You may call people out their names. And communication and misunderstanding starts. You probably begin to shut down. And if this happens with your child, you straight dismiss them. You're a child. Even if they're an adult child. You ain't going to talk to me like that. First of all, I'm your mother. I'm your father. Don't care how old you are. Don't care how old you're going to get. And you shut them right down and you dismiss them. And nothing happens. Nothing gets resolved. The child resents you. You resent the child. You resent your husband. The interaction between both parties is now void. Nothing got resolved. And so in with that resentment, now everything is in a box. You put everything in a box. Nothing happens. And you're still interacting with other people. And when you're interacting with other people, you're labeling people. Oh, I ain't going to trust her. She looks sneaky. All men is this way. Well, we're going to get to the humble pie. It's okay. It's okay. I'd rather eat humble pie than have an orange jumpsuit on with my PP number being 732091. I ain't doing that. I've been there. I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. And Miss Carter, this is what the power of imbalances. The parent and child is usually do as I say and not as I do. Their authoritarian thing go on. And the same with the husband and wife. The same thing with the husband and wife. You did it before. What's the problem now? That's that guilt trip. And if you want to keep them quiet, you're right. You're right. I got it. You're right. You're right. You're right. Because again, we are habitual people. We're habitable. If I'm scratching the surface and I'm making that person feel uncomfortable and it's making me feel uncomfortable, we're going to go right back into that situation, that habit that makes everybody at ease. And in actuality, it's making you still not pleased where you're at in that relationship. They're just getting what they want. You're not allowed to make choices, and you even if the choices turn out to be the wrong choices, you still going to hear about it. It's going to get brought up anyway. It's kind of like, okay, I'm gonna hold it over there. You done made the wrong choice. Yeah, I'm gonna keep that over there until you. I'm gonna say something later. And later can be 3 years next, 2 weeks, 5 years. I'm gonna just save it for later. And it can be building up, and that is resentment just building. And again, you're going on with life and you're having interactions with other people. And those interactions are not good. Oh, Miss Carter, she said that's why she's leaving. I can't do it any longer. Miss Deborah says, nope, she ain't doing it either. She ain't doing it either. And you'll get husband over wife, wife over husband. You'll have some people that have that baby daddy drama, that baby mama drama. And if you're married and you got baby baby daddy drama, and you're married, you got baby mama drama, something got to happen. I don't care if the baby is 2 or 3 years old, something 4 or 5 years old, 10 years old, 19 years old, something has to happen. Because now the baby daddy is resenting the husband, the baby mama is resenting the wife. Something has to happen. How can that family be blended? Because if the baby mama is resenting the wife, the children are resenting the wife. If the baby daddy is resenting the husband, the children are resenting the husband. Something has to happen. Their family is not going to blend. And that's why there's a lot of angry children out here that's misunderstood of what family looks like. It can work. Blended families work. I'm not going to say, look at the Brady Bunch. I'm not going to say, look at Different Strokes. Those are all TV images. But blended families work. Miss Carter, he said he cared more about the cat than her. I'm going to get you there. The feelings of resentment can increase stress levels. It can get bad in the long run. It affects how you interact with others. I already said that, by creating negative emotions that prevent you from feeling positive about other people and the events around you over time. It can lead to serious health problems, high blood pressure, heart attacks, strokes, cancer, alcoholism, drug addiction, compulsive behaviors. And this came from Psychology Today. I was reading an article in there written by Stephen Sistoni. He's a PhD. Now, picture this. If you're in one mood when you come home and someone else in the house is resentful, you're likely to join in on that resentment. Like, remember they say misery loves company? And then this is the new one that we say in 2024. Oh, I'm going to match your energy. No, I ain't. No, I'm not. Stay away from me. Stay away from me. Because if you're miserable and you resentful, you need to keep that over there. I'm not trying to. I say this to my husband all the time. We not. No, we not. No, we not. He chuckling. No, we not. So my job is already stressful. And I just start realizing that. God was like, Kimble, what you do from day to day, I'm not Superwoman, I'm not Superman, I'm not Wonder Woman, I'm not none of them Avengers. None of them. I'm a person. I breathe, I cry, I feel some of the calls that I go through. Once I get off the line, I pray. So I don't need anything extra up on me. So I ain't matching nobody energy. Nobody's. I don't want to feel resentful. I have an anger thing on my refrigerator. I have one on the same one on my wall upstairs. Hey, could you go get it? It's the pause thing. Steven, can you go get it? The pause thing on my refrigerator. It says pause if you feel. He's gonna go get that. And so imagine that's in the house. So if someone's resentful, they're gonna try to make you join into that. But how about in the workplace? Because Miss Carter says she states to herself, it's so embarrassing and so hard to reach out. No, baby, reach out. Reach out. And see, and that's the thing. That's the number one thing I hear on the line all the time. Oh, I'm not going to reach out to nobody because they got their own problems. Well, hello, y'all talk about them things together. First of all, and it's in here. It's in here. Be careful who you're talking to. But if you got somebody that you can talk to and they can listen, all you got to say is, listen, Kimble, put your phone on mute. I just want to talk for a minute. If you got 3 friends, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, that's all you need. But those, I mean, 3 people. 3 people. You got Jesus, you got the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. But if you have 3 people, so that's 6. That's 6. I got 3. 2 of them already on here. So in the workplace, it's hidden causes of most failures. Increased errors happen when when resentment happen there. It breeds stagnation and backstabbing, resentment at work, burnout. It prepares the way for violence, resentful employees, people, like somebody getting fired or not getting a raise or promotion. That person is at risk for violence at the job. Oh, look at her. She's always in such and such office. I wonder if they're together. I wonder, did she screw her way to the top? I wonder, this person always telling on somebody at the job. I've been to plenty of jobs like that. There's always an employee that's resentful. Are we in high school? I didn't like high school. Because by the time I got to high school, I was like, listen, I ain't got time to be getting bullied in high school. Now, I knew how to fight by the time I got to high school. I wish you would. Them hands got a little bit better in high school. Listen. I'll pick this shit up in a minute. In relationships, it destroys trust and intimacy when one person resents the other. Remember envy and jealousy? When there's issue with the in-laws and your mate's not saying anything, just letting this same thing happen. It creates continual power struggles or persistent passive aggressiveness. Eventually, it leads to contempt and disgust and detachment. Y'all can still be married, like, all right, Earl. I hope you're paying that insurance policy, Earl. She's just hanging in there. She's just hanging in there. And they get detached. They've been married for 20-something. They've been together. I'm sorry, they've been together for 20-something years. Just saying it. And things like that happen. We know it. We know it. We see it. People been together for 20 years, and as soon as they get married, it goes all downhill. You're like, well, what happened? Now, how do you stay resentment free? Oh, girl, I'm doing good time. Okay. Now, what Stephen Stoney said is, you try to improve it. You don't try to fix things. When you improve it, doesn't mean that you have to fix it. Miss Carter, you don't have to fix it. It's just like you're trying to make things a little bit better. Motivation. To improve is more empowering. You're not trying to fix it. And this one was kind of really difficult for me to see it. Appreciate, write one thing, one quality or behavior of someone you resent that you can appreciate more. Think. What can you appreciate more about your husband? Write one quality of behavior of someone you resent that you can appreciate more. Because when you're resenting that person, all you're doing is looking at the negative. That's all you can think about. Is a negative. And when you're thinking about the negative, sometimes again, I'm sorry if I'm getting off and I'm about to stray a little bit. The devil gets in your mind. You're tattered and you're bruised. He's getting in your mind. All you're thinking about is the bad things. Not all things are bad at some points in times. You have some hills and some valleys. I would tell you 2 weeks ago, I was in a valley. I was in a valley and I thought I was by myself. It did not feel good being there. It felt much different than depression. I knew it wasn't that. Because my sister was like, baby, you know about this. You and my husband said the same thing. You know about this. You know, why are you there? It felt much different than depression. Much different. Identify something you resent and list 3 things that are more important to you that you would prefer to think about. You got more things on your mind. You have more issues than to dwell on the negative. You can't fix it. If it's out of your control, let it go. Deborah says she may need to take a little trip. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I'm gonna say that again. Identify. I'm gonna put this in the chat. Don't worry, I'm gonna put this in the chat. Identify something you resent and list 3 things that are more important to you that you would prefer to think about. That you would prefer to think about. I'm also going to put the 3 C's in there. It comes from cognitive behavior therapy: catch, check, and correct. I'll put that in there. And this one says heal, correct, improve, create, and repair, renew, grow, and build. Heal, correct, improve, create, repair, renew, grow, and build. Building healthy boundaries. This is in my book. Know, learn your know. Learn your know. And again, I looked up the word no in the dictionary. And it's used as a function word to express the negative of an alternative choice of possibility. It can indicate a refusal or denial. It is used to express dissent or disagreement. It can emphasize or introduce a negative statement in response to a question or request. No does not mean you can't or cannot. No means refusal, denial, disagreement. It emphasizes a negative statement or you're responding to a question or request. Learn your no. If you want to build a healthy boundary with somebody, learn your no and stand on it. Do not teeter-totter and go back and forth with the person with your no. You do this with your children. Deborah said, peace, my family, and my health. Learn your no. Now, can't or cannot is to be unable to do or otherwise than. Those are 2 totally different things. No and cannot. Cannot means you're unable to do something. You're not saying that you cannot. It's not what you're saying when you're saying no. To build healthy boundaries, you need to decline anything that you don't want to do. Don't get that misconstrued. You have to let them know that you do not want to do what they're asking you to do. You have to put yourself first. You have to put yourself first. I told you that my therapist says, Kimble, you know, you do a lot for people. And I said, I do. I know I do. But I don't run myself to empty. I used to do that. Back in 2018, I would run myself to empty and I would complain. I'm a giver. And I used to tell this to people all the time in my therapy sessions. You have givers and you have takers. A taker job is just to take. They will never ask the giver, do you need anything? Do you want anything? Can I help you with anything? They're just going to take. A taker's responsibility is to give, to serve, and just to give. But however, a taker's accountability to themselves is to also make sure they're pouring back into themselves. They can't continue to give to anyone. They can't be any good to anyone if they're running on empty. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. Do not think I am putting myself in my Lord's place. I'm not saying this at all. I'm just letting you know that Jesus himself went and rested. He went and he made sure he stored himself up. He went to the Father. Every time, if there was a large crowd, after, you know, he went to a place and he performed miracles, and he taught to a big crowd. After that, Jesus would go by himself and he would pray and he would talk to God. He gave and he would go by him. If you are a giver, my grandma used to say, well, you can't get blood from a stone. Like, what are you talking about, grandma? What? Learn now. Express your feelings responsibly. Do not hesitate to hold nothing back. Wait, speak respectfully, have a good tone. Don't speak out of hurt or out of anger. I know that's hard to do, but you got to learn how to do it. Because again, if you're communicating that and you're speaking out of hurt and out of anger, that person's not listening to you. They're not. Just like the Charlie Brown teacher, want. They're not listening to you. Learn, and again, this is in my book, the I statements. Talk about your experiences and talk about those things honestly. Address the problem directly with the person involved rather than with a third party. You shouldn't be talking about this situation you had with somebody else, and you're calling someone else on the phone about it. That's triangulation. That person can't help you get that thing resolved. All it's doing is creating more bitterness, more anger, more resentment. It's creating a bigger problem. Because now you got Keisha talking to Tanya, and Tanya talking to Maurice, and Maurice talking to Tony, and Tony going back to talking to Tanya. And now the story is way more difficult. Because, they added their little sauce in there. Address the problem directly with the person that it's involved with. If it's two people, if it's you and Keisha, you talk to Keisha. If you can't talk to Keisha right now because you're that upset, hold that thing in, resolve it between yourself, talk to yourself, because I talk to myself every day. I pray, I talk to myself, and then I'm gone. Because sometimes I don't have nice things to say to people. And so before I say what I need to say to people, I got to get it out. Right now, I'm at that point where I'm asking God to take those cuss words out my mouth. I'm doing good, y'all. I'm doing good. We don't need no swear jar because we don't need no swear jar this time. Praise God. We don't need no swear jar. All right. All right, 9:34. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. So again, I was talking about that thing I practice all the time. It's called practice the pause. When in doubt, pause. When angry, pause. When tired, pause. When stressed, pause. And when you pause, pray. I have this on my refrigerator because we get snacks in the morning. I get my coffee cream in the morning. I get my lunch in the morning that's pre-packaged. They get the same thing in the morning. My husband see this in the morning. My daughter see this in the morning. My grandson see this in the morning. It's on my side of the bed in the morning. I see it. I read it every day. I deal with people every single day. Practice the pause. When in doubt, pause. When angry, pause. When tired, pause. When stressed, pause. And when you pause, pray. Every single day I ask God for patience for me. And I ask God for patience for his people. I ask God to have me see his people as he see his people. Because there's a lot of personalities that I deal with. I know I can be a wang dinger sometimes. My husband will tell y'all. If I get at 1,000, I listen. I haven't been there. But if I get at 1,000, we got some problems. There's some situations going on. But I haven't been there. Thank you. I haven't been there. I'm learning. I have 2 major events that's coming up, guys. 2 major events that's coming up. This Saturday, October 19th, Breaking the Cycle of Generational Trauma, the Ark of the Covenant and Revival Christian Church is having their annual domestic violence conference. Yeah. It is from 12 o'clock to 3 p.m. It's at 5500 Tabor Avenue. The speaker is going to be Pastor Cheryl Pinckney. It's going to be hosted by our pastor, Jennifer Solomon. Come out. This is a free event. Again, that is this Saturday. Want to come meet me, chit chat? Give me a pound, give me a handshake. It's this Saturday. Come out. The Ark of the Covenant and Revival Christian Church is having their annual domestic violence conference. It's for families. Men, come out. Come out, men. We need you to come out. We know there is some hurting men out there. Men are not the only one in a relationship that's, the cause of domestic violence. Some women have, been the cause of some domestic violence. Men, come out. Bring your families out. Some children have witnessed some domestic violence. We want you guys to come out to this event. It's Saturday, October 19th from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Come out. 5500 Tabor Avenue. It's going to be with our pastor. The speaker is going to be Pastor Cheryl Pinckney, and it's going to be hosted by my pastor, Jennifer Solomon. Is at 5500 Tabor Avenue. The event is free. And then our second event is going to be October 26th. It is hosted by Fit for God. My big sister, Stephanie Love God, is a comedy and then a fundraiser. It's going to be hosted at the Hebrew Cafe, the same address. It's 5500 Tabor Avenue. The tickets are $85. Dinner is included. All proceeds is going to be donated to Fit for God, Inc. Stephanie Love God does a lot of sewing into other ministries and nonprofit organizations. The tickets are $85. You can Cash App her. I'm going to put the Cash App in the chat. I'm going to put her email in the chat if you need any more information. Ladies, it's at 3 o'clock, so you can have a girls' night out at dinner. You can have a It's a regular dinner date. It's a comedy show. It's going to be so good. Come out. Tickets are $85. It's a comedy dinner. Again, it's on Saturday, October 26th. It's at 3 o'clock. It's at the Hebrews Cafe. It's at 5500 Tabor Avenue. All proceeds is going to be donated to Fit for God Inc. Again, Stephanie Love God does a lot of sewing for other ministries and other nonprofit organizations. This is my sister. She helps so many people do so many things. I do believe she is still selling her Woke Up Blessed memorabilia. I have a hat, I have a hoodie, I have a t-shirt, and I have a coffee mug that I get my coffee in on Saturdays and Sunday. I drink from. If you want any of that merchandise, again, I'm going to leave her information inside the chat. I love you guys. I thank you for watching. I will be talking more about my event coming up November 26th. If you got a feeling of what resentment was, that's going to be a part of the, what I'm going to be talking about for my Tattered and Bruised event for November 16th. I did get a case of my books and they were reprinted. Shout out to Donald Publishing for reprinting my Healing Journal books. My other books are going to be also reprinted. Some of them I'm going to be coming out when horrible things happen. You can go on my website to order those books. They will when you order the book, it goes directly to the PayPal, and the shipping and handling is included in that book. I will leave that information in the chat with you guys. I'm going to read this last thing from David. I cry out for help time and time again and constantly get ignored or downgraded. My mind is freaking all over the place and I need help and no one's there. I would tell you, Mr. Jackson, this is one of my best friends as well. You have to start. You have to be in one place. And I'm going to tell this to all parents. You can't teeter-totter and say you're grown and then go back to your child. You have to allow your kid. When my grandma used to tell us, I'm going to give you enough rope to hang yourself, she gave us enough rope to hang yourself. So if you thought you was grown and you did not come in the next day or that night when it was curfew, she changed the locks and she meant that you didn't come in. She meant that. So that means that my mom couldn't let us in the house, a brother or sister couldn't let us in the house, and if you did, you was out too. So if you thought you was grown, you knew that the curfew was a curfew, and you didn't come in, that meant you didn't come in the next day. You didn't live there anymore. That's what she meant by, I'm giving you enough rope to hang yourself. My grandma did not play. And if you wanted to come back, she made you pay rent. Because now you thought you were smelling yourself. You wet behind the ears. You thought you was an adult. So if you want your children to be adults, you treat them as adults. They pay rent, then they will respect you. You can't have them being a child and then giving them adult responsibilities. You can't have them being a child, but they're doing adult things in your home. You can't have them being a child and then they talking to you in an adult manner. You have to either be one or the other. You have to set those boundaries and you have to stick to them. A lot of these parents and a lot of y'all parents are out here trying to be your child's friend. That can't happen. Ask my kids. I used to say it to them all the time. I'm not your little friend. And I wasn't. My kids knew the difference between I'm your mother and I'm your friend. And I wasn't their friend until they got to be 20-something years old. And my youngest little used to say, Mom, then you used to tell me I'm not your friend. And who's one of my friends now? My daughter, she's 26. But when she called me, she'd be like, Mom, I need to talk to you. When I tell her, who you need to talk to, your mother or the friend, because the conversation better be different. And I'm saying that on a mother's level. When my daughter called me and she need to talk, Tamara, who you want to talk to, your mother or your friend? Because the conversation want to be different. And either mother or friend, the conversation is still different. My daughter will not tell me certain things because I'm her mother. We need to draw the line with the boundaries. The same thing when you at work. My grandma used to say, you go to work and have money to provide for your family. You don't go to work to make friends. But I said I was going to call you tomorrow, Mr. Jackson. You got your own personal session for about 30 minutes. I got you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, I love you guys. Again, it's 10:44. I must get on with my lady, with my sister on the prayer line tonight. If you want to join the prayer line, I will be putting it on the Cottage House page, and I will be putting it on my own personal page. I love you guys. You have a good night and be blessed.